Welcome back to Not So Grand Garage. So, I thought I was done with the truck after rebuilding the cooling system, but looks like I'm not. So, nothing cooling system related, that's doing great. I've been trying to track down this oil leak I've had for the better part of a year, and it's been progressively getting worse, and I didn't really think much about it until here lately it started getting hard to start in the morning. So I was kind of thinking, well, maybe my fuel was finally starting to get to this thing. But I decided, well, today I'd go through the fuel lines and snug up clamps and stuff like that, just make sure it's not getting air in the system. Well, I pressure washed everything off and found something interesting. Let me show you. So, my oil leak is apparently a fuel leak. Not sure if you can see that, but yeah, that's the pressure side of the pump, and apparently it has cracked between this part right here and this part here, where this attaches. So I started the truck up after I pressure washed everything off and noticed a couple of drips on the ground almost immediately. And so I got back down here, started crawling around, and noticed that it was coming off the lift pump. And it's kind of funny, I've been thinking this is an oil leak this whole time. No, it's fuel leak. So I keep spares on the shelf. 20 bucks, 25 bucks, Carter lift pump. It's all mechanical. I've had this one on this truck for 7 years. It's never given me any issues until now, so I'll swap the cheap one back on it and order another to throw on the shelf. But anyways, these are pretty quick to change, so let's get at it. So you'll notice this flange just got 2 bolts. They're 9/16 bolts, bolts to the side of the block, just like an old small block Chevy. This rod here needs to go under the cam, because there's a lobe on the cam that operates this. So just make sure when you slide this up into place, it's under the cam. So because you can get it up on top of the cam and it won't work, and you'll be scratching your head for a while. But yeah, I keep one of these on the shelf just in case, and I've never had to use it until now, so I'm glad I did. But the first one's given me about 7 years of life, so I'm not gonna complain too much. But yeah, I've already got one of the bolts out, which is right here. Interestingly enough, it was pretty well hand tight, so I may have a slight oil leak right there at the block. So I'm going to clean everything up. I'm going to clean the hardware up, put the new pump on. I'll use a little high tack on the pump gasket, and I will Loctite these bolts in this time, because I'm sure I didn't the last time I replaced this. But yeah, we'll get it changed out real quick. So I got the lines off. As you can see, it's dripping right down here on this cross member, coming over and dripping off the steering damper, which is interesting. It also looks like it's coming around the oil pan here, I think. Maybe? No? No. It's weird because I just loosened that bolt up and then I got a little oil out of right here. So I'm wondering if this pump has been leaking at the block gasket for a bit. I'm not sure, but it might explain all the oil leaks I've had. Either that, or I've got a oil pan or front seal leaking, which I've put a front seal and sleeve on this thing not too long ago, probably 2 years ago, which I did RTV the crank bolt and everything like you're supposed to. But yeah, I got a feeling it's just this fuel pump. So I got the old pump off. Like I said, it's just two 9/16 bolts. That bolt's still in there. You will need a short extension, a swivel 9/16 socket, but it comes out pretty easy. But right here is where it was leaking, and as you can tell, this gasket here is soaked, so I got a feeling this pump gasket has been leaking for a while too. Alrighty, new fuel pump is in place, and just a side note, this fitting right here, which is the one that started leaking on my other one, be sure to hold on to this side of the fitting with a wrench. That's why it's got flats on it when you're tightening this down, otherwise you will tear this off the pump. But yeah, got everything hooked up, got the hoses hooked back up. Went on to put new hose on this side, but yeah, I'm gonna go on and back this thing up and degrease everything again, pressure wash it off again, and hopefully that takes care of that problem. We'll see. Well, the new fuel pump seems to have stopped our leak. It's running good. I had it sitting here running for 20 minutes, give or take. So we'll take a look underneath it. And it looks like the leak that I thought was a front main may or may not be gone. Not sure yet. No more dripping from the pump area. So yeah, hopefully this lets everything stay a little cleaner. But hey, got a little water on the lens. Hold please. Oh. Hopefully this has fixed several issues I've been having. The hard starting, which this would definitely cause that. I was on the pressure side of the pump, so that would be letting fuel drain back and drain out of the pump when it sits overnight. So that explains my hard starting, and it definitely explains the mess of what I thought was oil underneath the truck for the last couple weeks. The leak's been getting progressively worse. It's been leaking for probably 6 months to a year, and it wasn't bad. It just, you know, a couple drops here and there. Didn't really think too much about it. But yeah, the last few weeks it's been leaving puddles at work, and certainly looked like oil for some reason. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. I got a mess to pick up, and I am filthy. So if you got any comments, questions, complaints, what have you, drop them in the comment section below. And yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe. We appreciate you watching.